Hello everyone, I'm Akriti. Today's video is once again a collaboration with my friend and classmate Vishal Rana. In this video, we will be sharing with you a presentation on another project made by us. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. This time, we have developed a project based on machine learning, and the topic of our project is spam detection using Python and machine learning. These are the contents of today's video. Let's begin by understanding about spam. What is spam? Spam is any kind of unwanted, unsolicited digital communication, often an email that gets sent out in bulk. Spam is a huge waste of time and resources. The internet service provider carry and store the data. When hackers can't steal data bandwidth from the ISPs, they steal it from individual users, hacking computers and enslaving them in a zombie botnet. Software providers invest resources creating email applications that try to filter most of the spam out. Consumers waste time shifting through whatever makes it past the spam filters. If there's an inbox, spammers will find a way to clog it. Spam can also be found on the internet forums, text messages, YouTube comments, blog comments, and social media. Email spam, however, is by far the most prevalent and the most threatening to consumers. In our project, we will be covering spam detection for YouTube comments, spam emails, and for text messages and SMSs. While the most widely recognized form of spam is email spam, the term is applied to similar abuses in other media. Instant messaging spam, Usenet newsgroup spam, web search engine spam, spam in blogs, wiki spam, online classified ad spam, and so on. SMS is popular worldwide due to high response rate, secure personal service, and lowest price. But there are some problems faced by the people, such as spam SMS by using this spam technique. Spammers take advantages of the wireless world and reach to the potential customers. Today, most of the SMSs are spam SMS, which consists of credit card offers, discount offers, traffic plans, and promotions. All these are fake promotions. Now let's understand what is spam detection. A spam filter or a spam detector is a program that is used to detect unsolicited and unwanted email and prevent those messages from getting to a user's inbox. Like other types of filtering programs, a spam filter looks for certain criteria on which it bases the judgment. For example, the simplest and the earliest versions, such as the one available with Microsoft's Hotmail, can be set to watch for particular words in the subject line of messages and to exclude those messages from the user's inbox. This method is not specially effective, too often omitting perfectly legitimate messages. These are also called false positives, and letting actual spam through. More sophisticated programs such as Bayesian filters or other heuristic filters attempt to identify spam through suspicious word patterns or word frequency. Spam detection approaches. The spam detection approaches can be categorized into the following four techniques. Number one, content-based technique. Number two, link-based technique. Number three, algorithms that exploits clickstream. And number four, semantic-based spam detection. Why spam detection? Now look at why do we need spam detection. We need spam detection due to the following challenges faced by the service providers because of the following negative effects of spam. Spam spoils the quality of search results and deprive legitimate websites of their revenue. User trust is weakened due to the search engine provider, which is an especially tangible issue to zero cost of switching from one service provider to another. Spam websites are means of malware and adult content dissemination and phishing attack. identification of the most appropriate tags for the given content, and to eliminate the spam tag. Now let me tell you about the problem statement of our project. In the proposed project, we will be using data mining techniques for spam email, spam SMS, spam text, and spam YouTube comments identification. It analyzes the content and find patterns which are used to identify spam and non-spam SMS, text messages, emails, and YouTube comments. Current spam techniques could be paired with content-based spam filtering methods to increase effectiveness. Content-based methods analyze the content of the emails, SMS, texts, and YouTube comments to determine if they are spam or not. So the goal of our project is to analyze machine learning algorithms and determine their effectiveness as content-based spam filters. Okay, so with this, I hope you have some clarity about what our project is all about. Now, my friend Vishal will tell you more about the project and its working.
Hello everyone, I am Vishal Rana. I hope you all are clear with the basic introduction of our project which was explained to you by Akriti. Now let me start by telling you about the datasets that we used in our project. We have taken our dataset from the Kaggle website. This is the dataset for emails. Here we have three major columns which are label, text and label number. The label column defines whether our mail is spam or our mail is ham. The text columns contains the mails which are predicted by our spam detector, and the label number column contains 0 and 1, where 0 defines that the mail is ham and 1 defines that the mail is spam. Now this is the dataset for the text messages. Here again we have three major columns: label, text and class. Here the label column again defines that the whether the mail is spam, whether the text message is spam or ham, and the text column contains the messages which are predicted by our spam detector. The class column contains 1 and 0, where 1 defines the message is spam and the 0 defines that the messages are ham. Now this is the dataset for our SMS. Here we have four major columns: SID. SID contains the sender ID. The sender column contains the name of the senders, and the SMS columns contains the SMS which are predicted by our spam detector, and the class column contains 1 and 0, where 1 defines that the where 1 and 0 defines that the whether message is spam or ham. Now this is the data sets for our YouTube comments. Here we have five major columns: the comment ID, author, date, content and class. Comment ID defines the ID from which the comment is posted. The author column defines the name of the author. The date columns defines the date and time, and the content column contains the content which is to be predicted by our spam detector, and the last column contains 1 and 0, which again defines whether the comments are ham or spam. Now this slide shows the basic approach or the basic steps that we used for building and deploying our model. We have started by uploading the data set. After uploading the data set, we have done data pre-processing, which is also known as data cleaning. Data cleaning is very important process in machine learning, because our data may contain several unwanted characters or may contain noise. After data cleaning, here comes the feature extraction. After extracting the features, the data is divided into testing and training data sets. After that, we create our model. After extracting the feature, we create our model. Now Akriti will continue with the live implementation of our project. Thank you.
Let us first have a look at the code before starting with the implementation of the project. You begin by importing all the required libraries like NLTK, which is a set of libraries for natural language processing. NLTK, or Natural Language Toolkit, helps in the human-computer interaction. Then we have imported sklearn or scikit-learn, which is a library in Python that provides many unsupervised and supervised learning algorithms. Next, we have imported pandas, which is an open source Python package that provides numerous tools for data analysis. It can read data from a variety of forms such as CSV, MS Excel, etc. Then we have imported NumPy, which is a module for Python. It is mainly used for multidimensional array objects and tools for working with these arrays. As you can see on the screen, that in the first cell, we have also imported warning filters. What is a warning? Warnings are certain messages that are displayed, but the program still continues to run. Warnings appear if some deprecated methods or functions or keywords have been used, so they can be ignored. Warnings are not harmful. Therefore, we have imported warnings filter to ignore these warnings. After importing all the required libraries, we have now loaded the data set in the second cell. After loading the data set and printing the useful information about it, we now pre-process the data. Data cleaning is a very important step in machine learning, since there are many unwanted characters or noise in our data. So to remove it, we have to perform data cleaning. In pre-processing the data, we have firstly converted all the class labels to binary values, where 0 is equal to ham or non-spam and 1 is for spam. After converting the data and storing, we have now used regular expressions to replace email addresses, URLs, phone numbers, and other numbers, etc. Then we have removed all the punctuations. So removing punctuations, white spaces between terms, and removing leading and trailing white spaces also comes under data pre-processing. The last thing that we have done in data pre-processing is the removal of stop words. What are stop words? Stop words are words that does not make any difference in the meaning of the sentence. For example, the, etc. We have done this using the Potter-Stemmer method algorithm. Now, next step is generating features. In generating features, we have extracted the main features from all the text messages present in the data set. Then, we have splitted the feature sets into training and testing data sets. Separating data into training and testing sets is an important step in evaluating the data models for building a better machine learning model. Generally, while separating data into training and testing data sets, most of the data is used for training set, and a smaller portion of the data is used for testing. In our project, we have used 75% of the data as training set and the rest 25% as testing set data. In the last step, we have used various sklearn algorithms or classifiers in NLTK for building our model and have taken out the accuracy of prediction for each of the following algorithms used, and then we have selected the one with the highest accuracy rate, that is SVC, or support vector classifier, having an accuracy rate of around 99%. And then finally, we have printed our confusion matrix and the classification report, as you can see on the screen. We have performed the same steps for the other three models as well. Let us now begin with the UI part of our project, which has been built using Flask. Before starting with the coding part of the UI, let me quickly tell you about the reasons behind choosing Flask as our UI. Why Flask? Because it is quite easy to use. It has a built-in development server and debugger. It also has integrating unit testing support and is extensively documented. So that's why we have used Flask as our UI. The code that you are watching on your screen is for the user interface built by using Flask. In our home page or the main page, we have made 4 buttons, namely text button, SMS button, email button, and the YouTube comments button. We have linked all the 4 buttons with their respective functions and pages. By clicking on these buttons, we will be redirected to their respective pages, which are present in the templates folder inside our main projects folder. On each of these HTML pages, we have a predict button, which on clicking will redirect you to the respective results page associated with that particular page's predict button. For example, from any of the 4 buttons on the home page, let us say we have clicked on the email button. After clicking on the email button, we will be redirected to the email.html page, where there will be a text box to fill in the email for predicting whether it is a spam or not, and a predict button will also be present. So after typing in the text box, we'll click on this predict button and we will be redirected to the result email.html page. So that's it for the code. Now let me demonstrate the running project for you. This is our spam detector app. So as I told you in the previous slide that there will be 4 buttons on our home page. These are the 4 buttons: text, SMS, email, and YouTube comment. So let's first click on text button. So now this is the text.html page that has been opened. Now we'll enter the text over here for checking. Let's say we will type in congratulations. Now let's click on the predict button to see whether it's a spam or a ham. It's taking a little while. Spam. So since in our database, in our data set, these messages, words like these have been shown as spam. Therefore, it is showing the result as spam. Now let's check for another button. Let's check for email button. Let me type in something like how are you? Let's see whether it's a spam or a ham. It is not a spam. As you know that how are you is nothing which is fishy or something. So now let me show you the other 2 buttons. They also have the same functionality. Let's go with YouTube comment. Now let me type in some comment. Let's say congratulations again. Let's click on the predict button. It is not a spam. Since on YouTube, many people can comment, can write a comment like congratulations for your YouTube channel. And in the data set also, this congratulations word is not a spam, it's a ham. So this is how our project works. So that's it for today's video. I hope you all liked it. For more such content, stay tuned to my channel and do subscribe to it. Plus also like my video and share it with your friends and family. Thank you.